You know, I'm known to start my lives without sound. It's just a known fact about me, huh? I always forget to put my microphone on. So hopefully we're good now. Can y'all hear me now? Andy, I used to be in Orneville. We just moved, and we are now in Woodworth. So we're about an hour away from there. So yeah, we used to live in Orneville. I know where Henderson is too. My son lives in Lafayette. Come on in, everybody. You still can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Snowy Montana. Hey, Miss April. We're going to Montana in about 6 weeks to see my son. And we're so excited. We're going to stay like 2 weeks. So I'm super, super excited about it. Oh, y'all can see my my other camera in my, let me see. I got that. Okay. So I am streaming on a few different platforms right now. I'm streaming on Instagram. I'm streaming on YouTube. And I am streaming on Facebook. So you may be watching in one of a bunch of different places right now. So just come on in and say hello. And once I'm done with the live, I will check all the comments from all of the different places that I'm streaming. Okay, so right now I'm able to see the Facebook comments that are coming through. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to change my screen view so y'all can see me better here on Facebook. And I'm going to go this route. So here's what we're doing today. First of all, I am coming on live on a lot of different public platforms right now because I wanted to let you all know that my membership is open right now. We are taking new members, and we're going to answer any questions that you have. We are having a flash sale. It's only $29 a month right now, and today is the last day that it'll be $29 a month, and or $300 a year, which is only $25 a month if you buy the annual subscription. And that is a lot cheaper than what I used to offer it. I have over 220 painting tutorials in my membership, and every week we add another one. So if you have any questions and would like to know anything, I would love to share anything that you want. Was Montana really, really cold to live in? Yes, it was. And that's one of the reasons we moved back, was because I was having trouble. I was having a little more trouble with my depression and anxiety, mainly the depression side, being locked up so much inside. It just didn't do me well. I'm an outside person. And so, yeah, that's, my husband was kind enough to support me in that. He would have stayed there forever. He loved it. So anyway, we're going to get started. And what we're doing here today, if you look in the top right-hand corner of your screen, you should see the picture. If you're watching from Instagram, I'm showing you the picture right now. You should see, this is what we're doing. So I want to talk to you about where I got this from so you can enjoy the fun with me. There is a group out there, a Facebook group out there that is called Free Reference Photos for Artists. And I'm sketching while I'm talking, okay? And this photo, what they do is they have like over 80 or 90,000 people in the group. And so what people do is they post their photos in that group, and they allow artists to use their photos for free to use as reference photos for paintings. And every month they have a challenge. And in February, their challenge is this photo. So basically, the challenge is you get to paint this photo, and then you submit the painting, and then people vote on your paintings. And I don't think the winner wins anything. I think it's just a fun experience to be a part of that group. And I'll tell you again, it's called, I don't have the link in front of me, but it's called Free Reference Photos for Artists. And it's got like a mint green cover photo. It's like a mint green. There's a lot of free reference photos for artists Facebook groups out there, but this one is my favorite. And so if you want to paint this along with me, I highly encourage you to submit your painting, because we're all going to end up having a different painting, right? It's not all going to look the same. So I highly encourage you to submit your painting when you're done into the group and become a part of February's challenge. Okay, so let me talk about what I am doing, and you can go, I can't multitask like you. How do you talk and draw? I've been a teacher all of my life. I've been teaching since I was 22 years old, actually 21. So it's a learned skill. Okay, it is a learned skill. So yeah. Okay, so what this looks like, I'm on a black canvas. And the more I look at this photo, the more I see that it looks like the background is really dark, and it looks like the sunflower is in a cup. So I don't want to paint this to be a realistic paint. I'm not trying to be a realistic painter, okay? I want this to look like a painting. I do not want it to look like the photograph. If I wanted it to look like the photograph, I would just take the picture and just use the picture and not paint it. I want it to look like a painting, okay? So I am not trying to recreate the same exact photo. I'm using the photo as a reference point for me to have inspiration. All right. Since the photo is on a dark black background, I went ahead and I pulled a black canvas. But if you don't have a black canvas, that's okay. Just paint your background black. Just use black acrylic paint and paint your background black. I did not make a template for this. I am just freehanding everything. I used chalk, just basically the same chalkboard chalk, just white chalk, to kind of sketch out where everything's going to go, although I might change it a little bit. And I'm on an 8x10 gallery wrapped canvas. Okay. So when I look at this photo, I see a lot of beautiful greens in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the colors that I've pulled from my stash. I pulled Hooker's green and chromium oxide green. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by putting those colors on my palette. This palette is just simply, it's like a piece of paper. It's almost like wax paper. It's actually called palette paper. Okay, and it's just disposable. So it's for everyone, Dawn. All right, I'm just checking the comments that I can see so far. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take just a small filbert brush, and I'm going to start this process. You can follow along, or you can just watch and paint later. This is going to stay live, or this is going to stay available for a week on my Facebook page and all of the other pages. So I'm going to take some of this green and I'm going to mix some yellow in it. And I'm using heavy body acrylics. okay, or just regular acrylics. I'm not even sure if they're heavy body. This is I use all different kind of paints, by the way, but they're all acrylics. This is a Winsor & Newton professional acrylic. This was a golden Artist Colors chromium oxide, and then this one was a Master's Touch thick body Hooker's Green. So I do not have one brand that I use. I just buy what's that I base my decisions on my my colors that I want to buy and whatever is in stock at the time. So, okay, so notice the best thing about these paints is the coverage. Okay, you're going to notice that this coverage is really good because the pigments in these professional paints are so much better than your craft paints. But if you have craft paints, it's okay. You can still accomplish this same painting with craft paints. So I'm looking at my reference photo and I'm staying really loose. And I'm just having fun painting today. I'm not doing anything special. I've been wanting to paint. I'm going to put some white on my canvas too, on my palette. I've been wanting to paint for the last few days live with y'all, and I've been busy doing some other things. So I was like, you know what? I just have to, you know, when you just have to schedule it. And sometimes when you schedule things, that's when you make it, you know, your responsibility to go live. And that's what I did because I've been putting it off and putting it off. I'm like, you know what? I need to go spend some time with my followers out there and see what they've been doing. So you can see I'm just playing around with some yellows. These are my, let's go this way. This is basically a big stem of a sunflower that is facing the other way. And I'm starting there because if you look at the photo, and I have it plugged in because my battery's almost dead. If you look at the photo, let me see if y'all can see this. Yeah. I'm starting there because if you look at the photo, you'll see that that's kind of like in the background. And so I want to do the background stuff first. And then the last thing I'm going to do is the yellow and this beautiful, beautiful sunflower here with all of these crinkly petals. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to have some fun here doing our own thing with this. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy teaching you. So tell me where you're watching from. Tell me how the weather is going because y'all, we are on day 5 of flooding weather. I'm telling you, it has been raining nonstop for 5 days. Nonstop. I'm not joking you. It's almost getting a little concerning, you know, because we've been getting some rain. Coming in a little bit with some darker. In your pool, Pamela, I'm so jealous. Oh my gosh. We had a pool in Orneville and we loved it. It was so awesome to have a pool. No, we are in the 40s over here in Louisiana, so we're not in the pool. You just made me very jealous, my friend. What's the temperature over there? All right, now I'm just going to start having some fun. I'm using a filbert brush. And I'm just still, I might go a little bit off the beaten path with this because here's another one that's very, very, my iPad keeps on turning off on me. It's a really old iPad. And so if you see my hand keep on going across, it's because I have to touch the button for my iPad to come back on. Okay, so as I'm looking at this, I'm just having fun. I'm not trying to recreate the same exact thing, but if you notice the colors I am using, and I'm going to talk about the shading that I'm doing as well. The colors I'm using are Hooker's Green, Chromium Oxide Green, which is basically some greens, okay? Different shades of greens, and a little bit of yellow and white. The yellow is making the greens a little bit more of that lime color, and then some black, and just having a lot of fun, actually. And I'm just following, right now I'm just focusing on all the green stuff. And I'm just kind of looking around the whole thing. And I'm following anything that's light green, dark green. I'm just kind of going with the greens. So my background was already black, and I did not need to add any background colors to this. So I want to also bring to your attention that when you're painting, remember, you're not trying to reproduce the same exact photo, okay? You're not trying to reproduce it and make it look exactly like it is. You are just using the photo as a reference. And when I say a reference and an inspiration, this is what I mean. You're paying attention to the shapes, you're paying attention to the lights and the darks. And that's basically it. And of course the colors, but you're not trying to create something when you're painting, at least for me. And if you like my style, this is the way that I come up with my painting style. I'm very loose in my painting. Although I am looking at a photograph, I'm not looking at the photograph to reproduce the photograph. I'm looking at the photograph to help me with my shapes of my figure, to help me with the lighting, the lights and the darks, and to help me with my colors, which is kind of like your shading, you know? Okay, so mainly that's it. That's what we're using the photograph for. Okay, I think I'm going to make this cup. It looks like it's a cup, or maybe it's the top of a vase. I'm going to have some fun with that, and I'm going to make it a really pretty blue. Let me grab a blue. Let's go with a cobalt. Oh no, let's go with a brilliant blue. This one's even prettier. Let me show y'all what color I'm going for. This is so much fun. I hope y'all having fun. That's hard for me. I have to tell myself it's not going to look like the picture. I'm my worst critic. Miss Dawn, I know, girl. We do the same thing. I do. We've been talking about that a lot in our pop-up paint party. We talked about that. And in our membership, we talk about that a lot, about finding that positive experience in your painting process, or that positive, just anything positive about it. What did you learn? What do you like about it? You know? And not to be afraid to share your artwork. Okay, so I have some more white. I have some blue. And this blue is a beautiful, it's almost like a turquoise. It's called Brilliant Blue. I bought it from Hobby Lobby. It's a Master's Touch brand. And I just like it. So, oops, I'm knocking down all my paints. So I decided, hey, I'm just going to go with it, and I'm going to try it out. So I'm going to make this I'm going to make this darker. I'm going to make this really dark. Can y'all see that okay? Yes, you can. Let me bring this down just a little. Okay, a little bit more white. Let's go in here. And I'm going to go a little bit, I'm going to make it look like a vase right here. I might not win the painting contest because I'm changing it, but that's okay. I'm having fun. Okay, let's add just a teeny bit of a darker shade. Let's go darker on this side. So I'm adding some black actually. Let's go even darker. We're going to come back over this green right here. And then I'm going to go. I'm going to do something like that. Make this really light. Okay. This is a random painting. Like I'm just touching on areas randomly because that's kind of the mood that I'm in. Okay? Meaning that I'm not really following a pattern of any kind. I'm just having fun. And sometimes we just have to do that. We don't follow any rules. We just go for it and we just have some fun. And that's basically what I'm doing today. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm taking time out of doing some other behind the scenes internet work, which sometimes ends up taking more time than actually painting. And running the membership is just doing all the internet, the emails and all that stuff. So, okay. So here I go. I'm starting in the orange. And this is basically orange. Let me tell you what I got. This is an orange from Master's Touch. And this is a cadmium yellow dark. Okay, it's almost like a school bus yellow. So when you look at the yellows, I see some really dark, oops, I went in the black. I don't want to go in the black. Black and yellow is going to make a really ugly green. So I don't want to do that. I clean my paintbrush off and I'm starting over. I'm going to take a really dark color and I see a little bit of that sunflower from this sunflower over here kind of peeking through. Okay, and I also see it down here. That's my dog, y'all, so please ignore her. She's just wanting to get out, and I can't let her out because my husband is working from home as well, and she wants to go in his room, and I can't let her in there, so I have to kind of keep her in here while he's working because he's on phone calls. I am hardly touching, y'all. I'm hardly touching my canvas. Okay, so you see how that just comes through there? It just makes a pop. I love it. It looks so good. Okay, I feel like I need to go back in the greens just a little, just right here. That's a little bit too much yellow. Let me go a little bit darker. I'm still using the same paintbrush. I have not changed. Okay. All right, shapes. Can you see that shape now? I'm not even looking at my picture anymore. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make this look like a sunflower that's kind of leaning down. And so I've got that happening, and I'm just trying to make it even just a little bit more leaning down. I just love the way it's coming out. Right here, I need maybe a little bit more of a brighter color underneath. Okay, I like that. I like that. I like that. So it looks like almost like a dead sunflower hanging out over there. This one, I'm not feeling it as much, but we're going to come back and work on him some more, or her, whatever you want to call it. I'm on an 8x10 canvas, Miss Mary. Yes, I don't use a, let me get that right there. I don't use black canvases that often, but y'all, I really like them. I need to start using them more. This is water. I'm drinking a liquid IV with water in it. All right. Now, I'm going to start going in a little bit more with those yellows. So I'm going to put a little bit more of this cadmium yellow right around this area. And I'm going to change my paintbrush now, because let me talk to you about why I'm changing my paintbrush so you can understand my reasoning for paintbrush use. All right, so when I'm looking at this picture, y'all can all see the picture, right? I'm looking at this picture and I'm looking at what I'm getting ready to do. And your filbert brush is more of a brush to work with rounded edges. When you have areas that are kind of rounded, your filbert brush is going to give you that rounded edge, and it's going to make the ends of, like, you see how we were kind of working around these little, they were a little more rounded, okay? So now when I'm looking at the actual petals on this piece, I feel like I need something more pointed on the end to help me make those points. All right, so I'm looking at something like this. I'm looking at an angle brush that has like a point on the end of it, or even something like this that has a point. These I don't do really well with the rounds as much as I do with the ones that are flat like this, an angle. Rounds are not my favorites for some reason. So something that has a nice point on the end of it, even a flat like this, that's more, you know, you have your 90-degree angles, but this one is the one I'm thinking is going to be the one that I use the most of in this process here. So I'm going to start with the darker. I have to cough. Give me a second. Excuse me. I'm going to start with the darker yellow. And you know what? I'm going to grab, I don't have it in my possession at the moment. So I'm going to go back to my my spot, and I'm going to grab yellow ochre. So yellow ochre is kind of like a golden dark yellow. All right, and I want to just share with you my yellows that I'm using. I have a yellow ochre. Y'all can see that. See how much darker that is? I have a yellow ochre, and then I have a cadmium yellow medium, and then my third yellow is going to be a cadmium yellow light. Okay, actually this is just cadmium yellow. No, I'm sorry. Let me do that again. Yellow ochre, cadmium yellow dark, cadmium yellow medium. Okay, cadmium yellow dark, cadmium yellow medium. I'm very messy with my paints, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to start with this yellow ochre, and I'm actually going to take just a teeny bit of the cadmium yellow medium and a teeny bit of the orange, and I'm going to mix them together. Stella, stop. Stop. I can't let you out right now, baby. Sorry, y'all. Can y'all hear her? Poor thing. I feel bad for her. Okay, so I'm going to start with this darker color. And you see how I'm using that angle brush? I'm just using it on its side. And I'm just focusing on coming around the middle of these. We're going to start making some petals. All right, there's a lot of petals. We're going to start with this darker color. A little bit. I kind of like that orange. Let me get a little bit more of it. Now, this is going to be layer after layer after layer, so you just have to be patient and just let it all start coming together. Okay, and notice that these petals come around like this. And also notice that my paintbrush is doing the same pattern as the petals. Basically, if the petal is leaning this way, then I'm making my paintbrush follow the same order as the petals. So in the same direction as the petals, I want my paintbrush to do that work. I'm going to dip my paintbrush in the water, tap it off because it's a little bit too dry. And in just a minute, I'll check the comments. Also notice that every stroke is in and out, in and out. It's not let's play for 92 hours in one spot. It is in and out. And you know what? I didn't do my stems, so I'm going to have to come back and do my stems. I should have done my stems before I started this. Okay. So far I like it. I like that first layer. It is not perfect by any means, but it is a start. And I'm liking where I'm going. So I'm going to clean that off. It's always better to get as much paint off of it before you stick your paintbrush in the water like I just did, because it makes your water so muddy really fast. So normally I try to get the paint off of the paintbrush first and then stick it in the water and clean it. I'm going to go back to my filbert brush because I realized I forgot my stem. So I'm going to come back in here with this green and this white. And I'm actually going to make a stem right here. I want that stem to be underneath the petals. So that's why I want to do the stem first, so that the petals can flap, can like land on top of the stems. Does that make sense? And I might do more stems than what is being shown, just because. So again, remember, tonight is the last night that you can get into my membership at $29 a month. And you're grandfathered in when you join. If you join at that price and you stay an active member, you get to stay at that price for as long as you're an active member, no matter how many years that you stay, and no matter how much content I have, it will always be that price. So now is your chance to get in at that lowest price of $29 a month, or like I said, $300 a year, which is $25 a month. That's what it comes out to be, is $25 a month. So and we would love to have you join us. Some of the questions I get is how many people in your group. The tribe, we have about 350, which is the VIP group. And then we also have a mini tribe, which is only one painting a month. And that we have about 100 people in that group. And they only get access to 12 paintings. And the VIP group gets access to over 220 paintings. Anything that I've ever done, the tribe members, as long as you're a paid subscriber, you get access to it. It's kind of like a Netflix of tutorials. So, Stella, it's just basically you go in the online library. We have an online classroom with so much information, and you get a free access to my Acrylic 101 course. You get free access to all of my new technique Wednesdays that I did in 2021. You get access to our woodworking videos. My husband does woodworking for us, how to make frames. You get access to on how to sell your artwork. You have free access, or not free access, but you have access to use my designs to sell your artwork as long as you're a member. And you also have access to use my designs to host your own paint parties in person, which I know a lot of you, there's a lot of people out there that love to do that. So Jen, if we have been with you for over a year and didn't get the price lowered when you first did it, do we rejoin? No, you do not rejoin. There is, just email support@jensdenart.com, and there's a button that you can press that changes your payment plan. You just have to know where that button is. All right, so I'm going to go back into the yellows. I'm going back to my angle brush, and I'm going to start picking up more of the medium colors. Okay, this cadmium yellow medium. And I'm just going to push and start making some beautiful, I'm going to make them a little bit longer this time because I'm coming with another layer. Coming with another layer. Let's make some up here. And let's go here. Notice I'm just going in and going out. I'm not trying to spend a lot of time in one spot. So, who is interested in joining this February challenge on the Facebook group that I talked to y'all about? I'm gonna enter this one, y'all. So y'all have to enter y'all's too, and we'll all participate together. How much fun is that? I always see their challenges and then I'm always like, oh yeah, I want to paint that. And then something happens and I forget about it. So I figured, you know what? If I'm going to paint this one, because I love sunflowers, don't we all love sunflowers? If I'm going to paint this one, I'm going to do it live so that it forces me. Sometimes we need that little push. Let's go a little crazy with our, let's make some come way out here. I'm going to go back dark again. Now this area we have to make a lot lighter, but we're going to get there. And see right here, we're going to work on this part as well. We're going to have to work on this little part, but let's get some more of these layers in here. Okay, we need to make all of this come down further. I'm going to take a step back. Let's make these a little bit bigger. A little bit more of the orange. Don't worry about the center. I know I'm making the center like really small right now, but we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that. So do not worry about that center right now. Let's get a little more of that orange. I'm just looking at darks and lights, and making some adjustments. I picked up just a teeny bit of that blue, just to give it a little bit of a darker shade in here. Okay, let me clean that off. All right, I'm going to switch paintbrushes and I'm going to go to a smaller, something like this. Okay. And I'm going to start working on like some of these areas in here. Let me go ahead and dry this some because I have to dry it some, and I'll look at your comments. Yes, Miss Peggy, these lives do go to our VIP group. Anything that I ever do always ends up in the VIP group. That's why I have 220 something videos in there. Yes, Miss Sherry, you're exactly right. Sometimes Facebook corrects the time based on the time zone that it says that you're in. And because I used to live in Montana, sometimes it still reads my Montana time. And I think maybe I didn't change my time zone. I don't know. I have to look into that. Okay. So, but yeah, the time zones Facebook does things that sometimes we have no control over. So yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to come back in and I'm going to use black and I'm going to pull that center out. Okay. I'm just going to pull that center out by making that black come on top. Yes, everything that I do does get put in the VIP group. You have free access to all of it as long as you are a member. And we have a prayer warrior in our group, which is my husband, Michael. He is working right now, so he's not with me. His job right now, he's a veteran, and then he is a mental health, a licensed mental health counselor. And so right now, his job is he works for the Veterans Crisis Hotline, and he takes crisis calls from home. When people call in to the Veterans Crisis Hotline, he is on the front line to take those calls. And so that's what he's doing right now. And he used to actually work in the VA hospital as a mental health counselor at the hospital. And then when we moved, he went ahead and took an online remote job instead, and now he's still like a part of the whole veterans system. But anyway, I say all of that is because he loves to come on our lives, and he is a huge God-fearing man. We both are, but he's very much more able to be vocal about it than I am. I don't know. I just, I have those imposter syndromes that, my lack of confidence causes me to not express my faith as much in public as much as I should. And so he comes in and he offers prayer at the end of our live. And he's just a huge supporter of my business. So everybody knows that Michael and I we work together on my business. So he is just as much a part of it as I am. But I do all of the techie stuff and the how to paint stuff, and he does all of the great talking. I stand in the background when it comes to the talking part. I don't have those skills that he does. He's just an awesome talker. So he is really, really big in that part of the membership. And we all love him for that. You see how I'm going in and I'm just kind of looking at like where the darker areas are, and I'm just kind of giving some of those areas a little bit of darkness. Now, I'm not done with my sunflower. We still have a lot of work to do on her. And I'm going to make this a little darker. Right here. Okay. Now I'm going to come in with a little bit of this. A little bit of this gold right in here. Just to kind of blend it just a little. I should say that I should have said this from the beginning. I am celebrating my 3-year anniversary having Jen's Den Art Tribe. And so I would like to let you all know that it has been 3 years as of February 1st that I've had this membership, and it has just been a blessing in so many ways to be able to offer this to all of you. I am I'm a retired high school math teacher. Yes, math. And higher ed. I taught trigonometry and advanced math and algebra 1. And okay, now I'm going in really light. I'm pulling in some white and yellow into my sunflower. I taught advanced math. I taught trigonometry. I taught college algebra. And I loved it all. Just want to let y'all know I'm a big math nerd. See how that lighter color, look at that, how pretty that's coming in. I'm still using that small brush. I taught geometry. I taught algebra 2. I taught all those fun classes that y'all all loved when y'all were in school, right? And I did that for 25 years. And then I retired and I started Jen's Den. And I knew that I wasn't done teaching. I knew that I still had a purpose. And I didn't want to teach math anymore because I wanted to try something online. I always loved the online space. I have a master's degree in educational technology, like learning how to teach online. And I wanted to put that degree to use and start my own business. And so here I am. And I've always loved painting. I started painting about 7 years ago, really painting. Before it was just a fun hobby. But once I retired, I started doing that a lot more. And that's basically how this all came about. Along with, those days of anxiety and depression, taking care of my mom who had cancer. And hang on, I'm going to let her out so she can stop whining. Okay, look at that flower. It is blooming now. I just walked away from it and I just came back to it and it's like, oh, wow. So anyway, I say all of that to let you all know that I understand your struggles. I struggle daily myself, and I hope that painting can bring you joy the way that it has brought me joy through these years. It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, Stella. Stella was crying too much. Oh, Miss Glenda, yes, I saw that you got registered for New Mexico. I'm so excited. We have a live online event coming up in July. If you're interested in that, we have the registration is going to be open on February 5th to the public, and we're going to have a live Q&A on February 5th at Sunday at 7 p.m. on our Facebook pages. There's 4 of us hosting this event, and it's going to be, we're going to have about 100 people there. And so they're filling up pretty fast already, but in a couple of days we're gonna go live and give y'all the ins and outs of it. If you're interested in joining us, it's going to be so much fun. We're going to be going to Red River, New Mexico. Okay, so let's add another layer. And this last layer is going to be almost solid white. Okay, so you see how many layers, and it's not a, it's not a quick process here. You have to give yourself some time to accomplish this. So I'm just going to come in now with almost white in some places and get that little pop right at the end. Just right on those just a little bit of those end pieces, And then we're going to do that with the green too in just a minute. I'm going to put a little bit more yellow in this part. That brighter yellow needs to come right in here. Let's get a little bit more of those brighter colors. So you see, if you've been watching this whole time, see how many layers I've been working with here. It's a process, so you have to give yourself that time to get that process going. Okay, I'm going to make one of these petals. You see how one of these petals kind of lays over the rest of them like this? I'm going to make one come like that. Don't be afraid to mess up with what you have going. You can always fix it. Okay, I'm going to calm this down just a little. I'm going to add in some black on top of this, and then I'm going to take my rag. I just want to calm it down enough to where it's not quite so vibrant. Like if it's too vibrant, it takes away from your main focus. So I want to kind of calm it down and kind of hide it a little bit. Does that make sense? Don't want it to be so in our face. Just a little bit. So if you're like me, you can play with your painting for like hours. And I do love to do that. I love to play with my paintings. All right, I'm going to make a really, really light, almost white green with yellow and white and green. And I'm going to make kind of like a highlighted area or a highlight for those green spots up here that I missed. So I'm going to come in and add some more highlights. white, yellow, and green. That is what I'm using right now. And I'm just making some more highlights in my green areas. It's almost white, but it's not white. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like a really, really light green color. Oh, I see where I missed a little spot. I need to kind of cover up right there. So one of the things my eyes is telling me right now when I'm looking at my painting, one of the things that I'm saying to myself is, I'm not seeing the sunflower pop as much as I want it to. So in order for me to make that sunflower pop just a little bit more, I'm going to kind of focus my eyes around the whole sunflower. And I'm going to focus on the greens, and I want to make sure that the greens right behind the sunflower are dark. So if the greens right behind the sunflower are dark, then it's going to make that sunflower come out in our face. All right, so I'm focusing on, I don't want the light greens right behind the sunflower. I want to kind of bring out more darkness. So I'm using that really dark sap green. And what that's going to do, it's basically giving you, like I've shown y'all before, it's giving you that light, dark, light, dark. When you focus on doing that light, dark combination, when you put the light next to the dark, that's when you get that pop. Okay, so if it's not dark enough, add a little bit of black to your green and make it even darker, which is what I'm doing right now. So I'm bringing in some darker darks right around the perimeter of the sunflower. Don't go black, just go a dark green. And you're going to see just kind of just kind of blend it so that it's blending out. Even though it might not look like anything, it might not be anything, you know, major, like it might not be, you're not actually making a leaf or anything like that. You're just adding a little bit of shading behind the sunflower is basically what you're doing. And that's a little trick to help you get that sunflower to come in front. So it's not hiding behind all of your work. Okay, I'm going to look at it again. Yeah, that made a difference. All right, I'm glad I did that. Oh, I'm about to put my paintbrush in my water that I'm drinking. All right, what do y'all think? I think I like it, and I'm going to enter it into the contest. So y'all need to enter it with me, okay? Remember, it's called Free Reference Photos for Artists, and the title of it is like the cover page of it is like a mint green, or it's like a, you know, it's kind of like a light aqua blue. And if you click on once you get accepted into the group, if you click on featured, you will see this as the February challenge. This is the photo for the February challenge. So come on along and join me for that February challenge and enter your artwork into their challenge. And I hope you have a great time doing it, because I just had a great time painting it. I hope you did as well. And remember, our membership we're still open until February 5th. But the price is going to go up to $32 a month tomorrow. Today is the last day for the early bird special. You can get in at $29 a month. Okay, so today is the last day for the early bird special. We hope you come and join us, and we hope you had a great time. If you are not a member, no worries. You can share your work that I teach on these tutorials in my free Facebook group as well. And make sure that you hit that follow button on Jen's Den Art so you can get notified when we come live again and do more fun acrylic paintings. Y'all have a great day. Thank you all for being here. We love you all. See you all soon. Bye.